Hey guys, today I thought I'd share just some tech in general. So, in the XYZ Cup, we have something pretty kind of nasty we can do, a little bit clever, one might say. So, uh, we have Time Thief here, and Time Thief is actually one of the ways we can kind of somewhat generically, since we have all XYZ extra deck, we can somewhat generically-ish get a spell trap negate. This is not an omni negate. This only negates spells and traps, but it's most of the way there. So the idea is pretty simple. If we ever open, well, it depends exactly what deck you're playing, but for cash specifically, what I can do is I can activate Time Thief Regulator to summon Winder plus Bezel Ship, or I can do Winder plus Adjuster, and then we can use Winder to grab the retrograde. But basically, all we really need to really use retrograde is at minimum a Winder, so we can Winder effect to then detach material, and this allows us to then go into Redoer. Redoer can just sit on our field as like a spell trap negate essentially. So that is just going to be a little bit helpful. And then with cash specifically, what I can do here is I can go regulator effect, and then we can go Time Thief Winder, special summon adjuster for no effect in this case. So on our field we'll have well, actually no, wait. What we're supposed to do here is we're supposed to regulator effect, then we special summon the Bezel Ship and the Winder, and then the Winder grabs Time Thief Adjuster, I believe. So, something like that, and then we have a different XYZ. We summon, we end up summoning both like Time Thief Adjuster and Bezel Ship, and that allows us to make either Evil Swarm Nightmare or Baguska the Terribly Tired Tapir. So we have those options as well with the Time Thief cards, and I mean Time Thief has gotten like new cards just occasionally, but they're kind of worthless for the most part. Like Time Thief Power Reserve. What does this do for us exactly? Special summon this. And then we can special summon a machine Time Thief monster from our hand, deck, or graveyard. You control an XYZ monster that has both a spell and a trap as material. You banish this card from your graveyard and banish one card on the field. I guess the graveyard effect is okay, but not really sure how you actually set up for Time Thief Power Reserve. So yeah, that's a bit awkward, but aside from that, this is somewhat splashable in some decks. It's not going to be every deck necessarily, but I mean, if it works, it works, right? So we can just drop a Redoer and get a Spell Trap Negate. That is one option that we have. The other kind of generic option, well, assuming we don't lock ourselves, right, is to actually, instead of going to Time Thief, we're going to assume here, in this case, we can make however many rank 4s we actually want. So here we can simply run one Garnet. We just need to run double or nothing. We go Utopia double, and then double adds Utopia, or not Utopia, adds double or nothing. And this allows us to then go into Utopia Dragnar with 2 materials, and we can just simply special summon Hope Harbinger with 0 materials. And what's interesting about this line specifically is that our copy of Hope Harbinger that we're going to presumably summon on our own turn here, and our copy of Utopia Dragnar, they will both have 0 materials on them, making them not possible to spin back with XYZ Encore, which is somewhat interesting as like a kind of tech. And I think this in general is pretty cool, but with Kashtira specifically, there's some noticeable techs that make this pretty disgusting. So if I open Kashira Unicorn with Time Thief Winder, I have this line where we just full combo, right? So we go Kashira Unicorn, adds Theosis, special summon Fenrir. Fenrir adds Rise Heart. Rise Heart is going to be able to go into either. Well, we immediately go into like either a Rise Heart or Shankar-Ira, but we'll do the Rise Heart line. So we'll go uh, Rise Heart banish something. So we can banish, I guess, like either Theosis or probably Big Bang. And then after that, we can just realize that, oh, we haven't normal summoned yet. So what we can do here is we can use the effect to detach from Arise Heart, and doing this will trigger Arise Heart, which also chain blocks the Winder, which is just cool, I guess. Is what I would say if it could chain block, but no, it's mandatory, so it doesn't even chain block Winder, but okay. Then Winder can add any Time Thief card, so we can add Bezel Ship, we can add the Regulator, doesn't super matter. Normal summon it, and then we just grab Evil Swarm Nightmare. So this play is just really good in the mirror, specifically if they're not fully on going second cards. Like, it's just the regular mirror, you're not mirroring against like going second cash. But just in this case, we have Evil Swarm Nightmare, which flips any cash our opponent summons. So if our opponent tries to summon Unicorn, this will allow us to Nightmare book it, and then they can't use either effect of Kashtira Unicorn, and they're somewhat locked out of special summoning because you require to control no monsters to special summon Kashtira monsters from your hand. So yeah, pretty strong against cash to just do this in general. But if you have a different deck that is also capable of like just allowing for a special summon Winder without requiring a normal summon, that line is also going to be available with whatever deck, I guess, right? And then the other idea here is if we open well enough, we can actually just use well, if we open Time Thief Regulator with Kashtira specifically, we can start with Time Thief Regulator, and we can then just grab the Retrograde and send probably either Flyback or Bezel Ship into the graveyard some way, somehow. And then we can banish our Redoer for the turn, which allows us to clear our board, which allows us to do something like Special Summon Unicorn to full combo like that once again. And it also gives us an opportunity to make Guska, which is kind of neat, I guess. Then our opponent will have to deal with like Retrograde Baguska, which is potentially hard for them to out. And there are probably some merits to doing this, because Baguska does win the mirror in the same kind of way that Evil Swarm Nightmare can. The only issue with Baguska specifically against cash is if they happen to have like Scareclaw cash, they can just run over Baguska by battle. So that is a bit of an issue. But for the most part, we're just going to be absolutely chilling here. If we wanted to like be kind of spicy with it, I guess there was this tech as well where we can use 1-for-1 to actually like get a free Xyz. So the idea is pretty simple. So we activate our copy of 1-for-1. The special summons a level 1 monster from our hand or deck. In this case, we will want Tuneful Princess. Then when this card is special summoned, we can banish this, and then this allows us to special summon a level 4 or lower fish monster from our deck, which in this case we'll want probably like well, this requires some garnets to do, obviously, but we'll do Buzzsaw Shark, and then we can summon a different level 4 monster from our deck, essentially. It's a fish with the same level as that monster, but with a different name, so then we can go ahead and use the effect, and this would allow us to technically summon Baguska without a normal summon. So yeah, a lot of ways we could hit our opponent with the Bagoosker. But just in general, if we're thinking about purely going first and well, not purely, but purely going first, uh, I believe the best option is probably Time Thief Utopia. Like it's pretty hard to beat, just straight up. So with the Winder in this case, we don't have to worry about like all these cards as much, and we're much more freely able to get into the retrograde with not too many obstacles. But okay, this isn't super easily searchable, so you kind of just have to kind of hard open the Winder, or you can draw into it, which you would be able to do with XYZ change tactics. So it can work pretty well, I guess. And in terms of like what you can put onto your inboard, you have like trap negate, spell trap negate, omni negate. Then we have like multiple monster negates as well. So pretty solid overall, I think, in terms of an inboard. It's not going to really be like a one card, but in terms of inboard with like just pure XYZ, I can't really think of anything stronger than Utopia personally, unless you want to do something that's like pretty much an FTK. In terms of inboard, yeah, I can't really see anything being super oppressive or super strong. But yeah. There's also, of course, like the option of going like Raid Raptor with Time Thief as well, which it can be like somewhat okay or like somewhat strong. So a lot of options, uh, just in general. But I mean, primary thing we're going to have to look out for in this event, I'm gonna just say, is just like getting Zeused. If we can stop ourselves from getting Zeus somehow, that's probably the ideal. So yeah, that's just what we're hoping for, I guess. It's not necessarily easy to do, but yeah, stop our opponent from getting into Zeus, and we're also going to have to watch out for like some of these board breakers, like the Evenly, right Geki. All of those cards are just particularly strong and somewhat hard to deal with. So yeah, there's probably a really smart way to well play this event. There's probably like a really good pure XYZ deck, but I haven't seen anyone playing anything like really strong as of currently. Nothing that like would beat a going second deck by any means. So far, it looks like going second and putting in some back row removal is probably the best strategy as of currently. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.